defensive position.
Well, I suspect Lou probably has an extensive international experience relative to Spencer's, or Norm Spencer's position. Here we have Lou. The match is in the 82 kilo weight class. From the United States in the blue uniform, Solomon Fleckman wrestles at the New York Athletic Club. He's at Lehigh University in Business Administration. David Hohl from Manitoba, now wrestling at the Montreal Wrestling Club, and it's a major in economics at Concordia University. 82 kilos.
David Hohl is still a fairly young wrestler. He's just out of the Espoir stage. I think he was an Espoir champion a few years ago, was he not? Excellent.
He was.
Counter.
He was, and in fact, Lou, he was third in the world.
That was an excellent counter by David. He lost. He gave up a couple of points on that on the headlock wrench. And then he countered. He's behind 4-1 in score, but still by no means out of this match. David's got this double ankle lock on. So he's lost it. They'll be back on their feet in a second if there's no action. Fleckman is countering this very, very well. And David scored 2 points. It looked like it was out of bounds from here, but the referee is in a much better position than we are to tell. And David Hohl scores 2 points on a double ankle tilt. The score is now 4-3 for Solomon Fleckman of the New York Athletic Club.
Lou, I talked to Victor Dilberman, our Olympic coach, earlier in the day about David Hohl, and Victor thinks that David is probably the next star on the horizon in Canadian wrestling, and has an amazing amount of natural talent, is willing to work hard, and prepared to make the sacrifices necessary to be an international star.
Well, those are the qualities you need to get to this Olympic level, Frank. You've got to work hard, and you do have to have a certain amount of athletic ability. Okay, the score is 3-2 for David Hohl. They took 2 points away from Fleckman.
I don't see how they did that.
Well, I saw him go over once on the tilt, but I wasn't sure he went all the way over the second time, because it looked like he countered it halfway through to me when he scored that first point. So the official score right now is 3-2 for David Hohl of Canada. And he looks at this point as if he's controlling the match. He's controlling the arms, controlling the head, and he's keeping Fleckman towards the side of the mat. Now Fleckman circles back into the middle. And the referee is not cautioning, but just gently reminding or prodding both wrestlers for more action, because they're really just kind of sparring with each other now. That was kind of a half-hearted attempt at a leg takedown by Fleckman.
Fleckman's really experienced, Lou. He has 14 years of wrestling experience, and Hohl is just in his second year as a senior wrestler. He's only wrestling for 8 years.
Well, Fleckman doesn't really look that old. He may have started some of the programs in the States. He may have started at 6 or 7 years of age.
Well, that's probably true. They have huge programs in the States at that age, 25,000, 35,000 young wrestlers in the state of New York alone.
Now, David Hohl had countered that go behind initially, but Solomon Fleckman kept the pressure up and got behind to tie up the score 3-3. This is good action for a heavier weight class. Lots of movement. Do you think those guys aren't working hard out there?
Well, it'd be interesting to do a heart rate check on them now, or to have Mike Sherrod, who was the kinesiologist that we interviewed at the top of the show, to give some comments about the energy output that these boys are putting out here.
I know, mine's up to about 140 just watching them. Now, David's still tight. He's trying to control the Americans' head and arms here. And we have the end of the first period. The score is 3-3. Now, Frank, the rules have changed a little in the last couple of years with regards to time matches. It used to be that the wrestler, if a match ended in a tie, the wrestler who scored the first point would be declared the winner. Then it was the wrestler who scored the last point was declared the winner. And now, as I understand it, they go into overtime.
They do, Lou. Regardless of how you scored the point or who scored the first or last point, if the match is tied at the end of regulation time, 6 minutes, then they just towel down in the corner, go back out and wrestle, and the first point scored wins.
So we have a bit of an interesting dilemma here. We're at the halfway point of the score, tied 3-3. Now, obviously, neither wrestler wants to go into overtime. They may end up wrestling another 3 or 4 minutes. And then, of course, conditioning becomes more and more of a factor. But neither does either one want to go out and throw caution to the wind to score in a hurry. So I suspect they'll feel each other out a little here and try to lull the other wrestler into making a mistake and capitalizing on it for that single point.
Well, I think that's what we're going to see from David Hohl for sure. Victor Zilberman is coach. He's the Olympic coach and a Soviet immigrant. And I noticed that David wrestles an awful lot like Victor did. Lots of upper body control, maintains position, doesn't do anything unnecessarily.
Good match savvy, good strategy.
And I suspect he'll try to lull Fleckman into a situation and score a quick 2 points.
Okay, here we go. Beginning of the second round. The score is tied 3-3. Excellent penetration.
That's exactly what I mean.
Excellent penetration by David. He waited for for Fleckman to move in, picked up the leg, and scored a point. He's now ahead 4-3.
Why did they blow the whistle on that one, Lou?
Well, the head was out of bounds before David actually started the tilt. So they start them back in the middle. Now the pressure's on Fleckman. Now David, look for David to score another point on a go-behind or something here because the American's going to have to open up. Now watch out for this front headlock tilt here.
Got to keep a wide base.
Right, and David's doing that. He's keeping his hands on the mat, staying square, trying a drag, and he waited.
Nice.
Excellent timing on David's part. They're not going to give him the point because the rule is that the red wrestler initiated that move, and actually David really didn't do anything to score the points.
There you
David's
go.
in a good go-behind position, pick up the leg, kill a little time here, and get another single point.
Exactly what you said, Lou. Wait for Fleckman to make that shot, lose his composure, and David capitalized on Fleckman's probably a little too eager.
I think David would be happy just sitting here, holding onto that leg tight, and killing about 30 seconds.
I suspect he's watching the clock right now. We'll see him look up in a moment just to check the clock.
I would. He's just got to make sure he doesn't get his hips too high and his head too low, and keep working towards the wrestler. Oh, he lost it. He lost it. He didn't stay square. Fleckman has gone behind for a single point takedown.
Good effort by Fleckman.
Excellent effort. Kept the pressure on. Now he's trying for the 2-point tilt. The Olympic crotch throw here. And he could easily switch off to a leg ride, but David's countering him with his hips. No action. The whistle goes, and they're back in the standing position. Now we're tied at 4-4.
Oh, we could see an overtime situation. I hope we do, just for the interest.
Well, we've got just over a minute left. I think you'll see both wrestlers very cautious now.
Yeah, that was very tentative there in Hohl's attempt at that leg attack to the right.
It was, Frank. That's what you call keeping the referee honest. But Jay Bradbury is refereeing out there, and he's been around, gosh, as long as you and I, and he's not going to get fooled by any of that stuff.
Fleckman seems to be backing up, waiting for Hohl to chase him in, and then he'll explode, perhaps.
He does. He seems to be the stronger of the two wrestlers at this point. Now, here's a chance for Dave. I thought he might have gone for a bear hug there. Now, David's got to be careful here because he's lost points from this position earlier on in the match on the go-behind.
And good.
Now he's trying to counter.
Oh, nice.
Got the leg. Oh. Now, you talk about staying tight and staying tough.
Yeah, nice wide base, dragged out of that well. And now we'll see what kind of condition Fleckman's in. He's down.
24 seconds left. He's down 5-4. The score is 5-4 for David Hohl of Canada, and I don't look to see David penetrating in on his knees here too much. He's just going to control the arms and control the head as he's done all match. Good control by David Hohl.
Inside control.
That's
Smart.
fine. They're going to caution David and be interested. The American elects to leave David on his feet. He thinks he has a better chance of taking him down rather than scoring from the mat. David, look at his head position, his arm position.
Yeah.
Inside control.
Quietly in control.
You're right. It's Victor's influence all the way. Excellent strategic match by David Hohl for a young wrestler.
You know, Fleckman really lost his composure there with about 30 seconds to go in the match. Started popping him on the head and didn't have any kind of planned strategy at all.
No, he's certainly upset with himself, and rightly so. That was a tough one to lose 5-4, but it was a good match. He's got nothing to be ashamed of.